It's a whole lot of mighty shit going on. Shout out to all them vice lords across, especially my boy King Town and Lord D too. Yeah. VICELORD, VICELOR, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire. Look at it. VICELORD, VICELOR, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire. Look at it. MICI drug conservative traveler now. We all is mighty. I roll with my brothers, I never deny. You fall with them flowers, somebody gon' die. I come as I am, forever remain. I'm about till I die, that ain't never gon' change. Find the rotation, this type of a change. Shout out little boy, free, I'm out of the lane. To the king, I'm pushing your dream. I was born for this, I was made for this. And I put that on the fire. In your video going live. I be throwing up the fire. My brother slide, I'm slide. And I put that on the fire. Fuck a hater, crucified. You cannot see without the eye. 22 to the day that I die. I'm white Lord like I'm Charlie Mack. Black and go to the soul, nigga, that's a fact. Yo, VICELORD, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire. Look at it. VICELORD, VICELOR, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire. Look at it.
But there is sacrifices that will have to be made. You understand? I might very well lose my life because I'm sick of it too. And this is one of the reasons that we're doing the things that we're doing here today and trying to create.
VICELORD, VICELOR, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire. Look at it.
Yeah, hi, I want to introduce y'all to another episode of the Golden Star Podcast. It's your brother Ghost on here. Osiris. And my brother Main C. He'll be joining us shortly, him and brother Marcus, in a minute. But right now we want to talk about the topics on today's show. It's going to be
Ghost, I can't hear you.
I'm live. I wasn't saying nothing. I was trying to wait to see if Osiris was going to come back on the screen.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties, so we are going to go to a break a little early.
Love to welcome you all to
A-Talk.
Could you hear?
Ignore it. It's like Flint. All this stuff gets pushed to the side and it's crazy, but we will talk about it because we have to have an A-Talk about it. How you feel about the government response to this?
I mean, the city and the state, they have responded by giving bottles of water, but that's not enough. There's so much more that could be getting done.
Things like this makes me wonder who planned this, or is this already orchestrated?
I make sure, put everything in the LLC, man, and put everything in the trust. I put like that, and you'll learn. When you learn to put yourself in the trust and the LLC, you'll learn that that's how the white people live. That's how the white people file bankruptcy. How the white people keep getting loans. How Donald Trump became a billionaire. He filed bankruptcy on everything he did because they consumed because they own LLC and on the trust. Simple as that.
Ghost, you're gonna have to ride solo for a minute until they come back on.
All right. Well, in today's topic, we're trying to figure out what's the best way for us as a society, a family, to really move forward into society without being looked at as we gang members. So with that being said, I'm gonna look towards the people that's in the audience to basically see what's going on and see y'all viewpoints on it. Oh, sorry, you can hear me?
Hey, what's up?
You heard the topic?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The evolution of a nation, but in the sense of the community. Like brothers that sit me in your position are, what can what can we do to effectively engage the community? Because a lot of things that's been done over time is not working because the communities, man, I'm 40 something years old, and I haven't really seen no major change within the community. Like we're because I asked myself, like, what are we not doing? What are we missing? Because we're missing something. There's something missing. There's a piece of the puzzle missing, and it's like either we see it, we don't see it, or we see it and ignoring it, or we just don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because we grow every day, and every day there's a change. Like I said, in my community, there's churches everywhere. There's still no change. There's no significant change to give you real value and hope to say, hey man, in 15 years I can see it's like the city making a development project, right? So they got this development project and they're showing you a blueprint of it, and they say, well, within 20 years, this is what the city's gonna look like. Right. So on a community scale, where's our development? Where's our blueprints or our development project? Because all the blueprints before us have failed. Right. They failed. And people say, well, the NAACP did so and so. Man, all they did is repaint the house. You know what I'm saying? Or they just painted the rust over the rust. Well, we got Black Lives Matter. Okay, they pocketed a couple of $1 million. Then we still see police still killing brothers. You know what I'm saying? Stop the violence. Stop the violence. Like, it's still happening at an alarming rate. It's even getting worse. So it's like, what are we missing? You know what I'm saying? What do we feed the hunger is not gonna politically change our situation. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna change it. Okay, yeah. I understand feed the hunger. It's a sign of sympathy and empathy in that you're a human being. You don't want to see people suffer. You're a good person. Okay, good. You know what I'm saying? Good. But the meek does not inherit the earth. That's been proven over time. The meek does not inherit the earth. The strong and intelligent inherit the earth. And what I mean in this sense of community evolution. What is it going to take to evolve the community into a a systematic powerhouse where the community, we're back to the African idea that we all take care of each other.
Trust.
But you can't build trust. Trust is a over time thing. You have to get in the trenches. In other words, for me and you to trust each other, we can't just say, "Oh, bro, I trust you." There's a proven experience to say, "Hey, man, that's why I trust that brother. We was in the trenches together, and he had my back." Trust is an experience.
Okay, so belief. Got you. Belief. If I can't trust you, I gotta believe in you. It's one or the other, man.
No, but you gotta see.
Nah, it's one or the
Hold
other, man.
up. No, you say if you can't trust me, you gotta believe in me, right? That's
It's
what
trust
you
or
said.
belief. Yeah, what
Huh?
you mean? It's either trust or belief.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you believe you're sitting in that house? Do you
what's the
believe
purpose
that
of the
you're sitting in
relationship?
that house? Do you
Huh?
believe that you're sitting in that house?
Say what?
That chair that you're sitting in, you're telling me you believe you're sitting there.
I know I'm sitting here. I'm sitting in there.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. So the project, so what I'm getting at is that you cannot build trust if you do not know what the next person or the next brother is capable of doing. So
I
as a
gotta
whole,
believe in you.
hold up.
Look.
You saying trust as a whole, we have to be in the trenches. And I don't necessarily mean streets when I say trenches. You know what I'm saying? Because to build trust, to know that we're gonna work together and it's gonna be effective, meaning first we have to engage the community. So that goes back to my initial question.
Believe.
That goes back to the initial.
Belief, bro.
Huh?
Belief. It's belief then. If I can't trust you,
You
I
missed
gotta
my
believe
point.
you're gonna do the same thing.
This has nothing to do with
Look,
belief, trust. I mean, excuse me.
it gotta be. But look, it gotta be the way we moving.
Can you read the comment? There's a comment that I think it was a sister made. I wanna read it because she said it. She said smoke screen. The community is being put up under a smoke screen. She is absolutely right.
Yeah, no, look. I ain't read that, so probably body sister.
But no,
But look, she right about that. But how could it be up under a smoke screen?
do it like this because it creates.
Even back then, it was under a smoke screen.
What's up?
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Yeah, peace and love. That's little brother Mustafa right there.
Peace,
All right.
peace.
What's up, Osiris? What's up, Ghost?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Say, listen. You young. The evolution of the community. And what I mean, and why I say evolution, because the community has to evolve. I'm 40-something years old. I can go in my community and it's still in the same condition it was when I left prison. Yeah, the church then took over and bought a little things here, bought a little things there. But there, you cannot see or you cannot tell the power that the community has, as opposed to going to a Hispanic community. Now, yeah, that's a shallow example, but I have to keep it. Let's keep it elementary like that, because power is a manifestation of something, right? You don't see power until it manifests itself. So on this sense, I'm saying there's no power in the community because you don't see anything that you can, like I was telling a brother that, like, when a city makes a plan to do something, they put a project together. And when they put this project together, they can say, hey, this is what the city's gonna look like in 50 years, right? And so you see this blueprint and it's saying, well, in 50 years, this is what this community or the city is gonna look like. And so they have networking and all this other stuff that's working as a chess game to make it happen. We don't see that in the black community. So the question is why we don't see that. Are we missing something? Are we blind to something? Now, in one of the comments, a sister said we under a smoke screen, and I agree with that. We are under a serious smoke screen that even when we look at it, we still deny the fact that it's there.
Yeah, gratitude. So that's the thing. The thing that, from my perspective, I'm giving my perspective. Now, like for example, like me and my brother and them tonight, we getting ready to go out to downtown Chicago for Mexican Independence Day, right? The difference is this. This is the difference. And I'm keeping the elementary. The difference is this smoke screen that we have around that surface over the community is nothing but psychosis. So what we have to do is start playing the hand. Now, tonight, for example, what we're gonna see is people come together, and the way they come together is music, dancing, alcohol. This substance has become prevalent enough to where it's used. So what we have to understand then is, what are we truly facing in the community at hand that has no purpose truly? So the things us as an entity we have to attack. Now, for example, I give you the power. The power is this. We have to learn how to appeal to the brain. Now, a lot of people will not say the things they like, but they know the things they like when they see it. For example, I could be a brother that wear a thobe, right? But I may wear my thobe in the manner to which it's still stylish to the casual standing to, like, for example, yesterday, a lot of people was able to give me compliments because they see like, man, you're wearing it in a way to which we know your culture or we know what you represent, but you still expressing yourself. So we're missing expression. We're missing people that learn how they know how to go into we got to understand that everyone has three faces. You got people who simply draw off of, oh, I'm in a new environment. I don't know everyone, so let me act like this. Then you got some people who have, they developed themselves enough to where, oh, they know how to keep themselves poised or keep themselves aligned on a certain frequency to where this is the manner in which they're going to impose for this specific environment or behavior. For example, us, when we get together with the brothers, you know what I'm saying? That could be our personal self, but only to a certain degree, because we're still like, okay, we got to make sure we on law. We got to make sure we on our square. You know what I'm saying? So it's still not you right and exact. So it's like when we get to breaking down that everyone has a different level of themselves, we have to be the entity that can understand that. So it's like, all right, what we got to get into is dealing with psychosis, dealing with psychology. It's not a physical act that we have to go into necessarily on the level of, like you say, bro, feeding homeless or doing these events that's just going to make people smile today. We got to start getting involved with the things that's something that's repetitive and consistent on the level of the mental things, breaking habits by showing people their habits and how they could change them. You get what I'm saying? It's like we got to start being those true lords over vices and taking that degree and expressing it to a level to which, okay, now we understand what we have came out of with our foundation, and we understand the vision. And the vision has to become something that's we got to drill it. So we got to drill it to a point where, like when you working at a factory and you dealing with the line, they tell y'all the rules when you're dealing with the line, safety measurements and things of that nature. If you put your finger on this moving line, the line ain't gonna stop just because your finger get put on it. So we gotta work like that. We gotta understand that all these things that are against us and all the nature that we can't really move with and work with nowadays, we gotta understand that we can't let that stop us. And I thought that was the concept we have pinball rolling, right? The ball gonna roll forever. So what we got to do is take that degree into the community as a whole, and we got to say, okay, Osiris, y'all go hard this weekend. Boom, we got this event coming up. Woo, 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 woo. Then that's just because you're gonna attack and appeal this event hard. So you go right in with your guys and y'all push hard. It ain't always a verbal thing. It's just a presence. You get what I'm saying? And when you have this presence of power, people are going to approach you because they're gonna either run from you, they're gonna either turn their head, or they're gonna have to come and basically approach you in the way of manner of respect, or just the simple submission that this is the entity in which I've been trying to impose, or this is something I've been interested in. It's all psychology. It's like me. When I was attracted to the nation, it took more than just the environmental pressures or the environmental things that was going on. It took me to see these 5 points mean love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, because it's all within. You get what I'm saying? So what we got to get back is we got to unveil the symbolic thought. The symbolic thought is things. Hold on, I got to read this comment because it says the youth. We need to do something about these youth wilding out, shooting and killing so they can get a name for themselves. That's all the thing about the shooting and killing, all that's childhood trauma.
Right.
All of that is, I don't have dad issues. I've been molested. I've been this. I've been that. That is a whole bunch of that. So until we learn how to deal with crisis intervention as an entity, as a whole, we're not getting out to the youth. Because what we got to understand is it takes. Go ahead, bro.
Let me cut you off. Let me say this. Okay. We've been socialized to believe that, but the vast majority of us, our community, has been socialized. Been socialized to do certain things. Socialized through music, socialized through TV, and socialized through other. In other words, one of our big issues is that we admire celebrities versus a brother like yourself that says the same thing that a celebrity does. So if the celebrity says what you just said or explains certain things, it's more credible than what you just said, and you're in the neighborhood. So that's one of the things that we have to counteract, but we cannot counteract that if we don't network and pull together. The one thing I've been saying that I think we need to take heed to and pay attention to. And yes, I'm not for it because it's not me, but the LGBT community. If you look at what they have done, because who they are and how they mobilize their resources and how they create a networking system that will shut you down. These are the things that we got to do. We have to take cues. The LG, whatever the name is, if you look at their political power within their community, yeah, you disagree with what they do, but you're not gonna go on no show or you're not gonna speak out against them, and there won't be repercussions. So, okay, whoever somebody made a comment about stop the violence. How does that apply to stop the violence? It's the same way. If we really care about the community, if we really care about our youth, the first thing that we can mobilize against is the music, because that's what socializing, creating the psychology that is causing our youth to commit the violence they commit.
Look,
I mean, if we're really saying, hey man, I want to stop the violence. Hey man, I really want to stop the woman prostitution. I really want to stop whatever what we trying to stop. If we're really trying to stop this, if we really give a damn, you know what I'm saying? Because see, all the protesting is not getting us nowhere. It hasn't got us. Protesting did not get America in the position it is in today. The power position. It didn't get it through protesting. It didn't get it through protesting. We don't want to look at the real. We don't want to look at the real issue. We don't want to look
at the issue is in the brain.
Huh?
It's all psychosis. That's the only issue. The only issue is the things people don't understand about themselves. That's the issue. The things they don't understand about the society, the things they don't understand about you, the things they don't understand about us. That's the issue. And it's like, that's what we got to make clear as an entity that represents the 360 as a whole. We represent going from to there. You get what I'm saying? We represent inward and outward. We represent these laws. So
how did that stop the violence? How does it stop youth from killing each other?
Man, because the thing is, I'm telling you, it stopped me from going into violence. I'm telling you, I'm a full.
You're a speck of sand in a nation of people.
I'm talking about before the nation, Osiris.
No, you gotta understand. You misunderstand what I'm saying. You are one person. We're talking about us. When I say sand, I'm talking about a conglomerate of people.
Right.
Just because we're talking about a whole community, not one person.
Right.
Not one person. So we're saying stop the violence. Do you think them brothers out there killing each other understand psychosis? What the psychosis?
No, he wasn't doing that. Look, brother, he was breaking it down. He was basically breaking the youth down.
I know that. I'm saying what I'm getting at is what are the elements that we're claiming that we want to stop?
Right.
What are we seriously gonna do to stop it? Because there is a way to stop it, but we don't do it.
It take
He was
And the
telling us.
crisis
question is
intervention.
why. And
You
the
can't go
question is
into
why.
nothing without it being comprehended. So still on the level of this is the thing, when you can't go into these elements without understanding them. Still, so still psychoanalysis has to
What
take place.
elements? What elements? I'm asking you what
Okay, when
elements.
when you talk about non-violence, that first of all, let me just explain to you like this: if you're looking at it on a nature standing, non-violence could never exist. The balance is what we have to control, the middle path. So when we're dealing with positive and negative energies, what we got to first get to comprehending as the entity we represent an entity that serves humanity closely. So when it comes to dealing with non-violent elements, we have to understand what is violence and how violence is created. Again, that's going to bring us back to psychology. It don't matter. Psychology has a broad understanding. It's not just talking to no brothers and saying psychosis to them, knowing they don't know the meaning and understanding. But you do
What
have to know how to
what is
explain
the
to a
violence?
brother that
What causes the violence in the black community?
they are hurt. It don't got nothing to do with they just want money. They just want to have this. They just want. Why do they want to have this? First of all, when you're dealing with a male entity, males live for the female. Everything we do for the female. You want me to show you? I can show you with myself without even being totally right and exact. But I can still show you with
So
myself.
you're
I got a
saying
haircut
brothers,
right
you're
now.
saying
Hold on,
brothers.
partner body. I got a haircut right now. I'm groomed. I got on my clothes. This you gotta understand. That's the male entity. We live our life to basically have a presence in which our presence is known. Same thing with a female, but it's the other way around. It's dealt around a different type of energy. It's not logical. It's dealt on experience. We already understand the feminine energy. So what we got to start breaking down, okay, how does this mental and how does this spiritual note connects to the body? We got to start connecting the cord for real, because until we learn how to represent this golden cord from mentally, physically, and these spiritual aspects that we represent of the pyramid, we're not going to get to understanding how the physical component that we live in now is loose and corrupt.
So
It don't have
I'm asking you, how do you stop the violence in the black community? I'm asking you,
childhood and
how do you
generational
stop
trauma
what?
has to be ended. This is
What?
it,
Right.
whoever just laid that comment. Childhood and generational trauma has to be addressed before you can stop the violence. The government knows that this why don't pour. This is wait. This that's
Exactly.
why they
So
don't
we've been
pour into
socialized
mental
in a
health.
fashion to be violent toward each other. And the socialization process comes through what? Movies, music, um, they people uh, excuse me, movies, the movies, music, things of this nature. These are the factors that
Exactly.
create the attitude
I
that we
agree, bro.
project.
I agree with the brother Bilal.
So if we,
Bilal
huh?
just gave a good comment as well. We
What
missing
you say?
fathers. We missing manhood. We don't have fathers. I'm adopted, bro. What you think? How do you think I saw
Okay,
life
so
live?
again,
That's what
we
I'm trying to
missing
explain to
fathers,
you.
right? So that brings
Huh?
us to another one. So if we missing fathers and not majority of our fathers are incarcerated, how do we stop the incarceration? I mean,
It
it's
takes
all connected.
well,
I mean, we can go on,
okay.
but I'm
Well,
saying we have
I
to
give you the
find.
perspective on how I see that, and this is why I also came home to the nation. Well, if we're dealing with fallen humanity, we got to understand that we are the ones who stop the incarcerations. Why? Because we apply law. Now, from my understanding, how the elders did this thing at a point in time, man, if they caught brothers off their square, whether it was alcohol or whatever it is, they was going in their mouth or however they seen fit. Brothers was washing cars. They was doing whatever they had to do because they was out of law. Now, what we got to understand is, and this is something that I think is very essential, this law has to go, it has to go past more than just the people within the fold. Because when we took our oath to more than just within the fold. We took it to our people, our community. Rather you using the statement of love, the holy divine, the ancestors, the elders, all these different verbs and verbiage that we use, the terminology that we've used, we got to understand this. We got to understand that this is something that we are supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop the incarcerations. But how do we do that? By activating and actually applying lords over vices and living out what our true nature is. Until we get to that and eradicate all of this pseudoscience that has came into the nation, we won't get to attacking these points. We won't get to aid and assist in the community because the community won't listen to us. We can't go into the community and try to aid and assist the community without being the best expression or the best example. It's not always about money. It's not always about saying we got the most this or the most that. It's all about just the attractive factor with just the attraction of a simple, the attraction can be simply just saying hello, dealing with people, just helping them take their groceries here and there, just going out and washing, dealing with whatever, cutting yards. This is psychosis. This is psychology. This is psychoanalysis. We have to understand that we don't have to do so much. All we have to do is do. We know that it's it's elderly on every street that exists in every neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So we already know it's people that need help all day. It's people that need help every day. It's children that's at these sports. We know that on Fridays or whatever, every athlete or everyone that's played recreational, pee-wee football, whatever sport, it don't matter. We know when people practicing. We know what all this. And guess what we know on these teams? We know it's kids that can't really get the good shoes that the best player on the team got. We know that we got, come on now. We gotta go into the community for real. We gotta take our entity and say, these brothers go there. The young brothers go deal with the sports. These sisters go deal with these sisters over here that's in the community. We gotta go and really put our hands.
There you go. You still there, shorty?
Y'all hear me?
A little bit. You cracking in and out. So
What about now?
So how we get y'all generation involved in? Like
partner body. Right. This brother Bilal. I just want to interfere real quick on the statement and rewind before we figure out how we can connect the dots with the generation under us. Because we're not too far from the generation under us. Definitely the brothers is within the 30s, and we've been with brothers in the 20s or like 18 and up. So we're not too far from their generation. But however, the missing link is manhood. Every community is missing manhood. Most households is missing the father. Most fathers is not being fathers towards the children or raising the sons to be young men. We at Vice Lord is not pushing that issue of fatherhood within our nation. So our communities is being pushed like this. The women in our community is stepping up and representing for the womanhood and protecting the children. The man's supposed to be the protectors of the woman and children. But in the midst of it, in the generation that we're living in, the man is facing more than any woman or children, because we got the law that against us, and we got majority of our women that's against us. So once we start to build as men in our community and start taking charge again within our community by uniting as brothers, not because this brother got a business going or a shirt line going or this brother trying to do A, B, and C, so we hating on each other. We should learn how to support each other. Once they start seeing that, they're going to start bringing our women out to speak on the behalf of our men. So when the government see the women and the men coming together as one, as we was before they separate the man and woman. So that's how they end up building these laws against the man, child support laws against the man, and making men feel more weak. And like that brother was saying, on the level of, gayism, it mentalized the man because they promote woman, and for a woman to, for a man to have, man got to be mentally ill. So the system is broken towards the man, and us as vice lord, we should be able to fix that matter, dealing with our principle as being vice lord men in our own community. And if we start there, we could change a lot. I yield the floor.
Yeah, gratitude, bro. That's all it takes. Cause that's why I came to this. That's why I came to the fold. That's why a lot of these people came to the fold. They ain't gonna never admit it. They ain't gonna never tell y'all, oh, I came to the fold to become a man, or to learn what it is to become a man by existing in a man and you know what I'm saying, a man environment. Or people not gonna admit that. That's just like people not gonna admit to a lot of us that they have been molested, or they have been touched, or they have dealt with childhood trauma that they can't express because they, guess what?
Man, some dudes don't even know what it means to be a man.
What?
Some brothers don't even know what it means to be a man.
But that comes from the loss of fatherhood. It's not just because some just happen and it's like, oh, motherfuckers now just want to be boys. That's not what it is.
I'm really being funny and I'm being serious at the same time because okay,
we're being emasculated, bro. We're being emasculated.
I know we're being assaulted from all angles.
Right.
I mean, they use our women against us, our women use us against us, we use each other against us. So again,
you know where we fail? You know where we fail? We're truth seekers. We're seekers of truth in that order. So what we have to understand is we have to learn how to go against and repel and be the true power away from what's going on. That's, oh, if this is what's the Lord's self, this is what's negative, this is what's going on. We got to learn how to pull those true elements out and show. For example, how do you help the household? Like Brother Bilal said, we have to emphasize fatherhood and structure within our nation. How do you develop the man and the woman relationship? We got to make sure that our men and our brothers respecting our
this is where we as black men, this is where we fail. This is where we fail at. One, we don't have a true culture that structures us on being men and how to go about being
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
that.
That's
Hold up. When you go to like an African culture, or you go to a Native American culture, or you go to a Chinese culture, there's a system in play that they've been using for years. Oh, I admire Chinese culture. Look at their system. Look at how they build their children.
They got it built
How
up.
their children be. You don't see a lot of gay Chinese. You don't see a lot of Chinese.
This part of the body. I'm not here to. I'm not really here to compare to no one, but I'll say this.
We're not comparing nothing. We're not comparing nothing.
It's
what I'm saying,
because I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you how. We don't supposed to accept rhetoric. Why? Because we're seekers of truth. So we have the truth to understand that we have been placed in the design as black people. So
tell me the truth. What truth? What truth do we have?
We've been took out of our culture, bro. What do you mean? That's
okay.
Truth.
Again,
that's a fact.
So therefore, we've been taken out of our culture. That means that we don't have a reference guide on what our culture distinguishes what a man is and how that man is supposed to function.
That's not true. We do have reference points. We do have reference points. That's not true, bro. We have all of our cultures, rather it's Indian or African, are right here amongst us. What we don't have is application of self. What we don't have is the true effort. We don't have that. We don't have that within because we don't have no fathers and leaders. So we don't have no one to listen to or no one in place to guide us. So we can, for example,
you're doing an oxymoron. You're saying
because bro, I'm talking to you from 2 points. I'm talking to you from a child who's a student who just moved out of fucking Memphis, Tennessee to Illinois, and I moved out of town. And my mom is, I'm telling you, I'm adopted. She's all I got, bro. And I'm telling you, I'm out here living. My mama know exactly what I represent. She know everything. So that's what I'm telling you. That's what's going on. We got to understand that you got two different placements, bro. You got life existing in ways it never did. You know what I'm saying?
Where again? Where is the? How do they call it? Where is the Oh, where is the cultural? I'm asking you. Okay, in certain cultural settings, and I'm gonna say there is so quote unquote an instruction manual, so to speak, like a rites of passage. That's what I'm looking for. A rites of passage on how we are to be who we are within our society. Where is that rites of passage?
You see it throughout the rest of the society. What you talking about?
Exactly.
Because
I got
if
two. I
we
got
you
two in
said
the
that
house with
that
me.
rites of
Give me
Hold
2
on,
passage
hold
minutes,
on,
gives
y'all.
you
Give me.
that
hold on.
application.
Pardon the body. Pardon the body.
That rites of passage gives you that application on what you do as a man, or what we could
Listen what
constitute
you
as a
saying.
man. So
You
we're
breaking
saying
it down, right?
we're losing
That's
fatherhood, we're losing motherhood. We have fatherless children growing up. Then that means we've lost something, and we have to regain that in order to get back to that.
that was through the government
So
though.
where is it at? I'm asking, where is it
But
at?
look, listen. Hold on. First of all, I'm sorry. That's a disjustice of what you really said. Cause we grew up in the era to where the simple strength we knew about role models. We knew about a whole different ball game. What this generation don't know about is what he talking about. Them role models, bro. That's something to look forward to. A stepping stone. We had all that. Don't act like we ain't had it, cause that's how you saying it. You know, I don't
Huh?
really be saying nothing. That's how you saying it. You saying it like we didn't have the role models, like we don't know the stepping stones to society. The fact of the matter is, bro, for real, half of the time, besides them drugs in the 80s, bro, from where we got this shit from, where we learned it from. We learned this shit from the 80s, bro. We learned this shit watching them. So the whole time we remixed it. The disjustice, that missing link, is once we got bumped. See what I'm saying? It wasn't no more role models for real after that. That's what he's talking about.
Where do we go wrong? Where
We
did
got
we
locked
go
up.
wrong?
Wait,
Because we're talking about an
pardon the body.
evolution of a
Look.
community.
The disjustice got when we got locked up, bro. That's the first thing. As far as with our situation. The next move after that, bro, it's a simple shit. They broke the culture up even in schools. They tore it up even in the schools. So it was already written in the law. It was made like that. We help society by doing that. Now how we fuck society up, excuse my French, how we mess it up is we band together for real. That's back to the trust. If we can't trust, we gotta believe. See what I'm saying? All this gonna go full circle. Back to asking the youth, which was Mustafa. How do we get to him? How can we come to an understanding to get our culture back into society on the straight path, a different way? You see what I'm saying? That's what
That
he
we
demonstrating that.
we as a community have a subculture. We don't have a full, authentic, and I'm gonna prove it to you. On St. Patrick's Day, you tell me how many of us wear green.
Shit, I don't know.
Hold up.
I don't know
Okay,
no.
and then on some on Cinco de Mayo, how many of us dress up in some Mexican stuff?
Man,
Let
I
a black
don't know, and I'm
holiday come.
Latino.
How many of us gonna represent that black holiday?
Hey,
How many
me,
of us gonna put on
me,
something that in Bilal, I'm not talking to you. How many of us are gonna dress in an attire that represents a royalty that's that comes from so deep within the soil of the earth. And what I mean by that, I'm saying so far back in time that
but
it gives us a distinction of a people that once
hey,
built the greatest civilization on the
hey,
face of the earth. Now we're
what you
now we're
saying?
some of the worst
Pardon the
Simulated
body.
people
all in one
on the
word
face of
though.
the earth.
Pardon the
Simulated
body.
all in one word. Understanding
From
the
the you,
self
I
though,
think
right,
that's the
Lord?
question I answer. Let me see. Uh, okay, I actually got two of my brothers here, a Mexican and a full Igbo man. So we gonna answer those cultural questions in a second. All right. So when it comes to what you just said, bro, this and this thing. it's gonna take when you're dealing with culture, we gotta understand what is culture from a dissension point, and how do we use the reascension to ascend. Now, for us in today's time, you're not gonna see people dressed with the ancient garbs, and that's
We're not
what
talking.
culture
We're
represents.
not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. That has nothing. I'm not talking about that. You didn't hear me now trying to say anything about the ancient garbs and all that.
You
Garb,
just said what
just
we
because,
going you
just
just
because
said
you
you
got a,
just
just because you got a dashiki on or you got an African garb on, don't mean that you are a moralistic person.
right, but that's what you just said. How we
No,
gonna
no, dude,
get
I'm
back to
saying
that?
when I say culture, that I mean, yeah, that's a little bit with culture, but culture is more along the lines of those things that the culture is a perception on who you are and how you see the world around you. So our culture right now is geared toward an entertainment in a flashy world. That's what culture is. The
That's
culture is how
American
you
culture though.
perceive the
We
Wait,
vice
wait,
world.
wait,
lords,
wait.
bro.
Point of body.
We
Wait,
vice
wait. Point of
lords.
body. Wait. Point of body. Real quick. Osiris and Mustafa. Now, culture could fall on multiple levels. Now, I'm hearing what both of y'all saying, right? Now, remind y'all, I got 11 children. So, when y'all speak on culture, I'm looking at culture of how I lay down my foundation with my household. So, by the time my children leave out the household, they carry themselves a certain way in the eyes of the public. You see what I'm saying? So, what level of culture are you speaking about? Because, we got culture of our
No, you just
ancestors
said
of
it.
how we dress. You know what I'm saying? And
You
then,
said it better than I explained it. You just said it better than I explained it. You use your house as a metaphor of culture. You're right. Okay, in your house, you govern your life around certain principles, certain ideas, certain perceptions. So when your children go out, they project them perceptions. They project that behavior. So on a larger scale, because we're not talking about an individual,
Right.
we're talking about a community of people. You got to remember that when I say when you hit the cliche, I am you, you are me, that ain't no mere cliche. That's a real live. It took 1 billion years for people to truly understand that. Don't disrespect the statement and say it and not really believe and understand it. That's just like the equal sign in mathematics. When I took math, my teacher told me, you know how long that it took them to establish that equal sign? You better use it. So likewise, when you say I am you, you are me, that ain't no cliche to sound good. It took people that built the pyramids to establish that, to make it understood. That's showing that me and your life is interwoven. If I disrespect you, I indirectly disrespect myself. If I disrespect my woman, I have disrespect the whole damn nation. If I degrade my woman, I degrade my nation. If I kill my brother, I indirectly kill myself. My life and your life is interconnected. There's no such thing. I'm born by myself. That's a lie. Yeah, you're physically born by yourself, but you morally and spiritually connected. So culture is on a larger scale. I'm not talking about no damn go put on a dashiki or go get you a damn a turban or something. Man, I'm not talking. That is so sharp. That is irrelevant. We are talking about a system that causes you to empower yourself.
That
If
system,
we
that
want, if we
system
want to
is
say
that system.
politically, so back to my initial question is the evolution of a community. How does a community evolve?
It
How does it
starts with
evolve?
its entities, bro. So if you want
It's
evolution on
kind
the
of just
community level, it's gonna start with us as vice lords as a whole. It's gonna start with us as a whole. We have to express our true community, our true culture. That's the first thing. We got to use the supreme law and express that. That's what we take out into the community and we express on another level with those people that are not within the fold, and they can understand our culture to say, oh, what is that? What are you guys using? What are these steps that you guys are taking? That is what you do, and that's what you use with the law that we have. Now, until we start to recover the true culture within our nation, we gonna just keep asking questions, and it's just gonna be an answer with a riddle. Because it's like, first of all, this nation has a culture. When you read the 10 sentences of the flag, that is culture. When you go through anything, the 4 basics, any of that, we have every Friday. We say Happy Holy
Pardon the
Divine.
body. Pardon the body. Gotta
Wait,
cut you
wait,
out.
wait, 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 wait,
Gotta
wait,
cut
wait.
you out.
Osiris, Osiris,
No,
before you say
you're
something.
wrong. You're
Osiris,
wrong.
wait, hold on. Because I was waiting for the brother to get done. So one question, a question to your answer would be changes. We have to start with changes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first. To make change in our community, start with changes.
Exactly.
The changes have to be on the platform of a universal understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Within,
So,
right?
Within,
right?
Within, indeed. It has to start within. You know what I'm saying? Not just within me, within you, within Osiris, within Ghost, within Lunatic, within the whole body of multitude. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, and for that point, we're gonna have to learn how to build trust. Because if we want any changes in our community of this era, we got a broken system that's against trusting each other. You know what I'm saying? We got a broken system dealing with drug habits, leadership, brothers who call themselves want to lead for brothers and lead for sisters, and we ain't calling them out and saying, hey, my brother, you on this bad habit. Once you sit down and get yourself cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to make any changes within our nation, it got to start with changes within and start cleaning our brothers up and get all these brothers who is off the square, have them sit down for the new ones who got a clear-cut mindset, be able to come to the platform and say, hey, this is what laws say. We got to unite. Our generation is not going to get caught up in the past generation.
Past rhetoric.
So as long as we get that understanding saying, hey, we got to make that change, it got to start with brothers around our age, around our generation, with the brother like Mustafa's generation combining as one. We don't want to be a broken bridge with gaps between generation.
It's all one tree.
Hey. There you go. Just like the ebony tree. If anybody ever look up the ebony tree and understand that ebony tree, it's dealing with a line of an ancient tree. So we come from a line of an ancient tree of people. And we study the bloodline of our people. Where Lord Israel come from, they knew how to sit at the table, bro, and break bread. And that's how the change is going to start. If you learn how to sit down with each other and break bread, put down the guns and swords. You know what I'm saying? Really compounds up with a clean hand.
We got to bury the hatchet. That's the concept we got to take in rebuilding this nation. We got to bury the hatchet. And, you know, man, that's why we got to get to, first of all, when it comes to this thing, and I think this is important to have on this, for real. Vice Lord is the general path of righteousness. The branches are the attributes to the general path. We need the branches as much as we need the tree. So what we got to understand that each branch has a complete, complex build and demonstration that makes them part of this fold. Nothing has a bullshit meaning. Excuse my French. So what we got to understand is we got a lot of work to do. And it's going to start with every generation. And it just first start with coming together. And
to understand.
Exactly, because everybody gonna think different. We black.
Right.
The black community has been destroyed. It ain't just Vice Lord been destroyed. The Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, or whoever. It ain't just that. The black community has been destroyed on both sides, east and west, equally. So until we comprehend that as seekers of truth and act on that with the formulas that we have already within, rather they've tainted or not, if they read out things that you personally, physically didn't experience yourself, don't put yourself in it.
Exactly.
Don't put yourself in the past splits. All these splits and all this discord, all this stuff that's going on that don't got nothing to do with you. Period. At
Man,
all. Like, you didn't breathe with it.
Hey,
Don't honor it.
hey,
It don't mean you
pull that
disrespect it either.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get to the point where we understand that history becomes a mystery when you don't understand it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But we got to turn our story to the focal point in how we use each and every degree to turn. Our story is enough. Every branch, literature, every hit, every part, every corner of what's going on within the entity of Vice Lord history, whether it's first generation, second generation, third generation, it has happened somewhere else in life. It don't got nothing to do with black, white, brown, purple, pink. It don't matter. It has happened with a lot of things in different times on different parts and corners of the world. So what we got to start understanding. The first thing we understand as lords over vices as is we only human. You only human first. Nobody super God. Nobody super nothing. Nobody the almighty nothing. The people is the sovereignty. The people in the collective consciousness makes up the sovereignty. Until we understand that and using this brother sense, that brother sense, we need this brother, we need that brother. Until we think like that, we're failing ourselves, then our people. So that's the whole collective. That's my perspective for my generation. I don't think, when it comes to dealing with the youth don't have a problem with dealing or listening to nothing. You just got to learn how to approach the youth. You got to understand you're dealing with a bunch of childhood trauma.
Part of the body. I could agree with that because, I done youth work for over 10 plus years in Minnesota, hands on, with youth. I work with over 500 youth over North Minneapolis. And I mean gang banging youth with guns and pistols bigger and longer than me. You know what I'm saying? And would knock a motherfucker off way, way faster. 3.5 seconds, excuse my French. But at the end of the day, we to form a program for the youth in Minnesota, and we call it North 4. And it deals with the 4 major communities the 4 major cities within that county of North Minneapolis. And when we put together the platform of how we could approach the community of the youth and make changes and stand on our words, and that's our problem as being the older brothers. Our words got to be bonded with our youth. If we want our youth to put down any guns or any drugs, we have to put something in front of them that matters. You know what I'm saying? So we have to provide jobs. We have to be mentors. We have to show them it's a different way outside the streets, and have to come from brothers like us who've been there and done that. So dealing with the youth, okay, I peeped that, Mustafa. So dealing with the youth, we have to give the youth something. You know what I'm saying? So, like a post I seen earlier today, we have to bring businesses back in our community. We cannot depend on the UMPN to bring the business back in our community to make changes in our own community. We have to start with ourselves. But I yield the floor.
I just wanted to show that video because that's culture. That's culture. You just take notes.
Hey.
That's the honest God truth. We've lost our culture. So when it comes to culture, psychosis,
We running out of time, y'all.
okay, we can really wrap up right here then. If y'all want, we can end right here. And when it comes listen, this is how we got to get back to this. All peaceful. That's how you develop the people. Just come together. They don't know each other. They just come together and ride. That's it. That's how we gonna get this going. But I know I'm finished. I pretty much gave my whole perspectives today. Get at me. Everybody know how to get at me. If you don't, you should learn it. All this come in my inbox. I leave as I came. My name Brother Mustafa. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I live in Illinois now. If you want to rotate,
30
that's
seconds.
drawing.
Go ahead, Bilal. You want to end out? You got 20 seconds. You better say something.
Beloved, you hear what I'm saying? Man, I come as I am. Almighty Vice Lord. Never going to change. You know what I'm saying? Stand on the laws of Bobby and stand on the laws of Pat.
10 seconds.
And all we have to do in moving forward is learn how to unite and be all for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Peace and love.
Yeah, Mike.
But the historical meaning behind Aisha, it formulated from the Muhammad of the Muslim race. He married this girl. You could go to Google. She was about 13 years old. You know, back in the day, they would take children, women, and they would place them in different families and make you marry them. That's how the culture was. So, as 13 years old, some of the Bible, some of the history says 13, but some of the history say 9. But from her becoming a child, which she didn't look at this man as her husband, she looked at him as a father because she was a child like mine. But he groomed her up into a complete woman. And this woman that we was named behind Aisha, she took and she raised a whole nation of strong kings and women.